The following show contains adult content. It's not our intent to offend anyone, but we want to inform you that if you are a child under the age of 18 or get offended easily, this next show may not be for you. The content, opinions, and subject matter of these shows are solely the choice of your show hosts and their guests, and not those of the Entertainment Network or any affiliated stations. Any comments or inquiries should be directed to those show hosts. Thank you for listening.
Hey everyone, and welcome to 50 Shades of Bullshit. I'm your host, Christine Lalonde, and this is the podcast where we uncover the truth about online dating. Now let's begin. Hey everybody, I'm Christine, your host, and this is 50 Shades of Bullshit. Welcome back. Thank you for coming and being here again today. I wanted to start the show out with a little disclaimer, kind of a little warning panel to, just kind of introduce what is going to happen today. Many of us grow up learning what love feels like from men in our childhood. And when those experiences are painful, inconsistent, or unsafe, we can carry that imprint into our adult relationships without even realizing it. This episode isn't about blame. Today, it's about awareness, healing, and how past can shape who we're attracted to by, just until we can do the work to change it. My experiences with male figures involved instability, fear, physical, sexual, and emotional harm. This is going to be very hard for me today. It's a little too close to home. This one's harder than all the rest, which y'all know I'm a big crybaby. So here we go. For a long time, I chose what felt familiar, and chaos was that familiarity that felt like attraction. So one thing I wanted to start out with was let you know that when chaos is what you learn early, calm can feel boring, like I said in my other episode where we talk about healing. And when love feels inconsistent, intensity can feel like passion. And when safety is missing, attention can feel like love. So today, I'm bringing back a guest that you are all familiar with. I'm very excited. It's episode 221. It's titled Love Imprint, Father Wound. So today we're bringing on speaker, best-selling author, and Wake Up to Real Love podcast host, Dawn Richard. She joins us to unpack sexual trauma, generational patterns, people-pleasing, codependency, and self-abandonment. We are going to talk about grief, forgiveness, reparenting our inner child, and how to rewrite your love blueprint so that you can finally create healthier, fulfilling relationships and life and the life that you actually will love. So let's welcome back Dawn to the show.
Hi, everybody.
Hi, Dawn.
Hi,
how are you? Welcome.
I just wanted to start off by saying I'm so honored and privileged that you are willing to have the courage to be open and vulnerable tonight.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
This is big for so many women. And so you are one of the chosen ones to help pave the way for other people to heal.
Thank you. I mean, I just have always felt that my journey to heal was the road that I was paving to show others that it can be done. Yeah. That if I can do it, if I can be happy and I can be fulfilled, then yes, it can be done. Yeah. The thing is that no matter how much you heal, some wounds are just a little deep and they feel sometimes overwhelming. Like I got to tell you, Dawn, I've been talking about my abuse to other women and other people my whole life. My whole life I've talked about it, and I've been really good at, keeping that broken part, that emotion back. I don't know why today feels a little bit more raw, probably because I've had some really crazy times here.
Mhm.
Yay, Mexico. Um,
Well, I think the illusion is, and I always say this, like, oh, wave a magic wand, poof, you're healed.
right.
That's not how it works. It comes and goes in waves. And
Yeah.
we have to peel back so many layers of complexity because it's generational, it's relational. We keep seeing these
Yeah.
patterns, happen in our lives. And so it definitely is an ongoing journey. I mean, I've been divorced for almost 7 years now.
Okay.
And a few months ago, stuff came up and I was like, are you freaking kidding me? I thought I had taken care of that. I thought I had dealt with that. And it's just,
Yeah,
it's a process. It's like grieving
it
somebody
is.
that, if you had somebody that you really loved and cared about and they passed to the other side, they died in this physical form, it doesn't go away. It's not like,
Mhm.
it's not like because time goes on, you don't miss them or you don't think about them or you don't feel sad sometimes. And any of this healing emotionally, psychologically, physically, spiritually, this is our journey to grow and evolve and become.
Yeah, and I think I realized that with this unpacking of sexual trauma, it really clings to a lot more than just, somebody hurt you, somebody imprinted something in your mind, in your brain, in your feelings, in your thoughts, and your fucking emotions
Mhm.
so much. But it's just not that. It's not just that. It's, you said it. It's generational patterns. I watched. My abuser made sure I knew everybody else's abuse too. My mom's,
Mm.
my aunts, my everybody. And it's really weird because, one of the next things I know that when we heal, it's not just going, oh, I switched off the switch. I no longer feel that pain.
No.
Well, you do. And I realize that I'm human and that no matter how much work, you're still going to be tender. It's still going to feel tender.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I get
Yeah,
that.
you still feel tender because there's still, at whatever age it happened, there's still that little girl inside of you.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so no matter what age you are, you still have the imprinting of it, but the healing process, the healing journey is about the trauma isn't what happened to you, it's what happened within you. And so
Yeah.
that's so your sense of identity, who you are, how you think that people show you love, which is often very skewed and distorted.
Yes.
And so I've talked to so many women, Christine, and we have this it's like lifetimes and generations of I'm not enough, I'm not good enough, and I'm not worthy. And so whether it's sexual trauma, whether it's emotional abuse, whether it's psychological warfare, we get these messages from society that says we have to do more, give more, be more, conform to other people's expectations in order to receive. And this is why these conversations are so important, because I feel like we are the chosen ones to finally break the chains that cause us to feel like imprisoned. And so when you heal, it's a huge sense of liberation and freedom to step into who you were created to be and how you were created to show up in the world.
Yeah. It's, you really spoke to me with that, because I'm going to be honest, most of the time when I do my shows, I don't do a lot of planning, prepping. I just know that it's going to come to me, whatever I need to say and feel.
Yeah.
And I am choosing the topics anyway and the guests. So I'm very aware of how I'm going to relate to it and what I'm going to talk about.
Right.
And it's fine. But today I just kept really struggling with,
Mm.
oh my God, I'm going to break down. I'm going to lose it. I'm going to la la la. And I was like, why though? Why though? And I think I realized while you were talking that I think it's because um, mm, oh God, I'm so sorry.
Do
Oh my
not ever
God.
apologize for crying. Do not ever.
I'm feeling really overwhelmed. I'm so sorry.
Don't apologize.
It's been a long time since I've been emotional about this topic. So I cut my feelings off. Recently, I've really opened to every chakra feeling.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm feeling overwhelmed about the fact that I realized that my sexual trauma took away my sexuality.
Mm.
It changed who I was as a woman in my sexual being.
Uh-huh.
It changed how I have been with men. It's changed how I always thought that it just took all that away and I never wanted to experience. And all of a sudden I realized I have actually grown so much and healing myself so much that I feel like all of a sudden I have really come in to the sexual human that I am.
Mm.
And I was able to set all of that aside and think, that those people did not ruin me. They made me stronger. And even though I've healed from that, it doesn't mean that I have to be ashamed of when I am a sexual being and a sexual, sexy woman,
Mm-hmm.
And I think that just brought a lot of emotion up today about, all the things that I've had to address and work through. And I don't think I actually did that on this. So I think that's why I might feel so raw. So,
Well, I think that so many women, because this is not just about sexuality. This is about women being given permission to want
yeah,
anything,
exactly.
anything besides I'm taking care of everybody else. I'm giving to everybody else. I'm sacrificing all my wants and needs in order to support other people while I feel alone in my isolation and my desperation for I need help too. And I deserve good things, or I think that I deserve good things, or I would actually like to experience a lot of good things in my life. And so this is part of this breaking, this breaking of all the, thank God for all the strong women who've come before us, because they give us guidance of how to stand up. Because so many times when we feel oppressed by someone or something, we feel unstable. We don't know how to stand up and feel empowered, because it's almost like we have to like prove that we're powerful to the external world, but that's like false. It's a false sense of ego. It's a false sense of it's more like you need to really feel that sense of empowerment within, like how you were created, how you show up in the world, that there is some grand design for you and for your life. And instead of trying to hide it, instead of trying to run away from it, it's actually stepping into it so you can become, like the oak tree from the acorn. And so we're all in this process of becoming.
I agree. Tell me what, in your simplest terms, what you think, what people should know what father wound is. And while you talk, forgive me, I need to turn on my air conditioning because I'm sweating balls.
Go ahead. So father wound, this is really interesting because fathers, if you're in a heterosexual relationship, the way that your father treated you is the way that you believe you should be treated.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Unfortunately, yes.
Mm-hmm. And I think this is my belief system, that, the story of Adam and Eve, regardless of whatever, religious background, that doesn't matter. But the whole story of Adam and Eve, where Eve is the temptress, and Adam puts the blame and the judgment and the shame onto the woman.
Right.
And she is the reason why they are cast out of the garden. Right. And so I feel like we've just been playing out these patterns in our consciousness. It's the ultimate abandonment of my father, like my source, and my partner, that should be like my rock and my foundation. There's that complete sense of abandonment, and you feel lost and alone and broken and not enough. And so I feel like all of our relationships they're either like reflections of that break, or they're possibilities of the repair, and the reconnection and the restoring of that sense of union and unity and wholeness.
Yeah, I find that, some of the things that we are talking about when, let's just say a young girl grows up in an abusive home, and she starts to develop people-pleasing tendencies.
Yes.
Codependency tendencies.
Very common.
Self-abandonment, things like that. We tend to carry it into our future relationships with other men.
Yes.
And, like I said in the beginning, it's really about thinking that that's what we deserve, that we don't deserve better, that this is love, this is familiarity. How else do you think that it shapes what we think love feels like?
Well, it definitely has impacted your nervous system. Like you spoke at the beginning, like that feeling of chaos and stress. Oh, that's familiar. Even if it's not what you necessarily want,
right?
It's familiar. And so we just say, oh, that sense of chaos is like, oh, well, this is passion. This is exciting. As opposed to, a lot of people in general, don't experience a lot of peace growing up. There's instability, there's a sense of separation, whether it's through a divorce or separation. If there was sexual abuse, there's a separation from the parent and the child. And so the person that you look to protect you and take care of you violated you.
Yeah.
And so there's that, this doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. And you generally like lose your sense of innocence, like your innocence was taken away from you. And so a lot of this is like restoring your sense of innocence and purity to that little girl inside of you, who deserves to be held and cared for and protected and treated like she's the most precious thing in the world.
Now, I personally know, because through healing and, help and whatever, I personally know why, but I'm wondering for other people out there who don't know, I'd love for you to tell us, why do people repeat patterns, like relationship patterns, even when they don't want to keep repeating those patterns?
Because 95% of how we show up in the world is subconscious programming. And so, there's this big myth and false preaching happening a lot in our world about, oh, this is how you manifest. Just say a bunch of affirmations and you'll manifest $10,000, or you'll manifest a house or a new car or whatever. But what happens when we have trauma at whatever age, you make up certain beliefs about yourself, like, I'm not safe. It's not safe to be me. I'm not worthy. I'm not good enough. I have to prove myself in order to be loved or accepted. I have to overgive in order to I have to overgive in order to maintain peace in my household.
Right. That's that people pleasing.
Walking on eggshells in order to avoid triggering rage.
We really learn how to manage people very well. I think it kind of really helped with my intuition and my evolving of understanding people's body language, the way they say things, the way people they move their bodies. It was nothing like safety. So I get how that can really imprint on somebody. Then
And
you go out into the world and you don't know who could be safe and who couldn't.
Well, that's the whole thing. It's like you stop trusting your guidance system because other people did things to you that made you doubt yourself. So a lot of times when we're in painful relationships, the other person often makes you feel like you're the crazy one.
Yeah.
You're the crazy one, not they're the ones that are being manipulative and controlling and abusive. And so because we women, and this is the strange and interesting and fascinating thing, Christine, is that our bodies were created to be our temple, right? Like safe and sacred. But when we have any kind of trauma, it knocks us, it knocks our foundation down. And so then we stop trusting our body and we disconnect from our body and we disconnect from our heart, because when I gave my heart to somebody that supposedly loved me and they stomped on it, then that means I can't do that. And so it's not even managing other people. It's creating a sense of safety and protection around yourself. And so when you enter these similar kind of patterns of relationships, it's familiar. It's familiar, but that's what the healing is about, is to help you learn how to reset like your entire system, mind, body, heart, and soul. It's like you reset your beliefs. You have to deprogram these old beliefs of I'm not worthy, I'm not enough, I have to overgive, nobody sees me, nobody acknowledges me. I mean, all of those things. You have to deprogram and release that subconscious patterning. And you have to create a sense of, okay, who am I at my core? Who am I at my essence, in my essence? It's like we are all born sacred. We are all born perfect, whole, and complete. Everybody is a baby, freely playing with themselves, crying, expressing whatever rage, joy, excitement, sadness, freely expressing all of it. And then we have all of these situations and people in our lives that cause us to go, I need to protect myself. And so it's a complete overhaul. It would be like saying, you have a broken engine in the car, like your engine's completely broken, and you go and you say, oh, just fill me up with gas, I'm good. Which is what most of us do.
Right.
Oh, just fill me up with gas, I'm good. And so this is really like, okay, if I actually look under, if I look at the whole part of me, like I said, under the engine, in the engine, like digging deep into the inner workings of our minds, our bodies, our hearts, like all of those signals that we receive are beautiful, divine intelligence saying, hey, go this way. Or, hey, get out of there.
Yeah. When, I've kept repeating the pattern over and over, just thinking I was really leveling up the next time, the next person I was with, I'm doing better. They're just so much nicer or whatever. But then I start to realize that they're repeating the pattern. It's just a different pattern. It's just like I had psychological warfare when I was a child too. I was psychologically tormented, and that warfare is big, and when you start interacting with people and you think, oh, I'm not going to have somebody who treats me like that anymore, but sometimes it can look a little differently, but you're still being drawn to it.
Shows up in a different form.
Exactly. Thank you. It wasn't until COVID that I was stuck at home with nothing and no one, and with a daughter who had decided she no longer liked her mom anymore during COVID, which is fine. Been through that. The thing is that, it came a time that I realized I'm the reason I'm repeating the patterns. It's my feeling towards thinking I just got to find someone better than the last one, when it really was, it became this thing where I realized that it's really about finding the version of me that's been stamped the fuck down so many times. And, starting to learn how to free her. And when I first did my first healing session with breath work, when you started talking about, I'm not good enough, I never was, this or that, that's the first thing that came. That's the first thing I cleared. That's the first and it was intense. And I remember I'm in the middle of it, and this inner voice inside just said, what are you talking about, bitch? You're good enough for you. Who cares if you're good enough for anybody else? And I thought, what the hell? She's right. And when I started working on me and healing me and knowing that I'm doing it for me, not for anybody or anything, but just to be me, just to be happy. And what's really magnificent now? My joy, my happiness, my glow scares off the ones that aren't meant to be there.
Yeah. Yes. And that's what happens. I think because I think people jump from relationship to relationship, seeking that's the one, that's the one, that's the one, that's the one. If I get into this relationship, then everything else, all the bad stuff will go away. But what happens is whoever you're with and wherever you go, there you are. So whatever you're holding on to, you're just taking into the next relationship and the next relationship. And I believe that every relationship is an opportunity to turn within, to have an awareness about, I'm being triggered. What is this reminding me of? What is this trying to teach me? What is this trying to show me? What am I supposed to learn through this? And so many times we put it to the external world, and it's really about turning within, because I mean, I didn't even like to take responsibility for this, but I co-created the mess with my former husband.
I get that.
Because we tend to say, well, he did, he shouldn't, they should, blah, blah, blah. But it's like, what inside me needs to shift? What do I need to take responsibility for? What what do I want to create more of in my life? And what do I want to avoid having in my life? What kinds of people do I want to avoid having in my life? And we're the only one that can do that for ourselves. We're the only ones responsible for it. And everybody else is responsible for their stuff.
For themselves. And then I find that when healing begins and you really start to walk that walk and exude that feeling, it took me a long time to get there. I had to pair it with manifesting. I had to pair it with shadow work. I had to pair it with, a lot of inner deep work and setting boundaries. And I'm grateful to say that healing is possible. But when I truly started doing that, I realized that the people that seemed familiar no longer felt right.
Mm-hmm.
It was familiar in the, oh, hell no.
And the yuck. I don't like that anymore.
Exactly. And so I loved when I came to the time where my joy, my peace, my happiness, my lust for life became more important than anybody other than my children, of course. It became a place where I started recognizing light and joy in other people. And it really changes. I mean, it really can happen. And I wanted to see what you thought healing actually starts to look like for other people, in case they don't relate to me. Maybe something you will say will help trigger something for somebody.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like healing is more about developing a sense of compassion, deep, deep compassion for yourself, where it doesn't matter what shit I'm going through. It doesn't matter what quote unquote mistakes I'm making, which I don't really think they're mistakes. I just feel like they're all just learning opportunities, because we're so critical of ourselves. We're so judgmental of ourselves. We're so impatient with ourselves. And
we're hard on ourselves.
We're very hard on ourselves. And I think that that's the biggest part of the journey, is like learning to treat yourself the way you would treat your best friend or your most precious child. That you have a sense of, think of, when they were babies and all you wanted to do was like hold them and love on them and care for them and protect them and keep them safe and let them feel a sense of peace and safety and security and stability and all of those things. That's what we're supposed to do as parents. But we don't often do it, or we don't often receive it. And so that's why so many people are carrying around these like sense of, fragmented parts where, I don't understand that, or I don't know about that, or I don't, I feel empty, or I feel lost, or I feel alone.
It's something that just came to me while you were saying that is, I always thought that it was just affecting my life, that it was affecting the men I was with, the relationships I was choosing. But what I didn't realize, that I just realized recently, I'm going to stay grounded in this one, because
take a deep breath.
This is the hardest truth I've ever expelled, and I'm expelling it to whoever's listening.
Take a deep breath.
I realized what I really truly thought, that while breaking that cycle, not healing, okay, because understand, I left home at 18. The minute I could get out that door legally, I was gone. And I raised 3 children. And I thought, okay, I'm going to break the cycle. I'm never going to be with a man who will touch my children, beat my children, psychologically destroy, emotionally destroy my children. So I thought, I'm just going to love them so much. And I'm going to pour into them, singing to them every night and reading them books and just love being their mother. But I didn't realize that all the trauma that I created in my life with the men I chose was actually going to affect how I also would backlash treat my kids. Now, I'd never lay a hand on them to hurt them, like to smack. I accidentally mentally lost my mind one day and kind of popped my daughter in the mouth and said, "Don't you ever do that again." And inside, I was really saying it to myself. I've regretted it to this day. It was a very heated situation. She was really treating me shitty, and I that's the one and only time, and that hurt me. And I realized it wasn't just about keeping people from hurting them. I didn't know I needed to heal to be a better mother to them. And that was probably the hardest, realization I've ever come to, that if anything that I give anybody today, it's like, don't keep waiting to heal you, because there's so many other people in the world that it really affects. Like, one real quick story about something that made me realize that was, I was living in LA, and this person was nasty as all nasty can be to me. A random stranger, for whatever reason, I don't remember what it was, but they were really nasty to me, and it pissed me off. And I was in the worst mood the rest of the day. And I'm like, just steaming about everything now. Cause I'm like, and I walk into the bank and I have to deal with the teller. And she is being a pain in the ass, and she's not giving me what I want to hear. Who knows if it was right or wrong? I don't care. I snapped at her. I was a bitch to her. And all of a sudden, I felt her energy shift, and I felt sick to my stomach. And I put my hands through the little slot, and I reached out, and I slid my hands in, and I said, I just want to say for just a second that I am really, really sorry. I said, somebody treated me really shitty today, and I carried that anger into putting it on you, and now I've just possibly ruined your day, and you're going to be pissed off going home in traffic, and you may treat your husband shitty, or you may snap at your kids because of me. I said, no, I am so sorry. If this is not the person I am, please forgive me. And I'm learning right now in this moment. And she just started crying, and she touched my fingers under the little thing, and she's like, that is the greatest thing anybody's ever said to me. And I thought, yes, good job, Christine. You are learning. And I try to remember that every single time somebody starts to think that they can affect my mood. And once in a while, it'll work, and I'll be affected. And then I start to realize how I'm behaving. So it's not just in the relationships with, men or a partner. It's our children. It's our friends. It's our everything
out in the world. It's whatever we're carrying with us, that energy we carry everywhere we go. And I know, like, I had a slapping match with my daughter one time. She was probably 8, and she was, acting out based on the chaos in my house. And so she was hitting me, and I was like, stop, that hurts. And she just hit me again. So I like smacked her leg, and I was like, ow, that hurts. And every time she hit me, I smacked her leg. And so we had like this hitting match. Now, I just talked to her about this, like, I don't know, within the last year or so. She's like, Mom, I don't even remember that happening. And I said, oh my God, I have so much guilt about that. And all of the ways that my kids acted out, or not even necessarily acting out, but the impact, because all of my kids like experienced depression and anxiety and panic attacks. And I was like, I caused this. I feel like crap about this. This is not what I wanted. That's one of the reasons why I got divorced. It's like, I want to create a sense of peace and stability and security for you guys. And we had some, but it was like, I don't want you to think that what your dad and I had is healthy, even though it may be normal for millions and millions of people around the world.
Right.
And so it's really taking responsibility for developing yourself, for honoring our humanity. You know, we act out, we react, but all of this breaking the cycle and healing journey is about taking 100% responsibility for your part in it all. In it all.
Yeah. Now, I do have to say that I completely agree with you on that. Though, as children, when grown adults, your parents do bad things to you.
No, that's not. No,
that's not. But I get what you're saying, though. It is our responsibility to get the work done, to heal ourselves
as an adult.
Yes.
As an adult, to say, I didn't like that. There are a lot of patterns that I'm taking on. There are a lot of things that I'm drawing in that I don't want in my life. And you can't say like, well, it's their fault. Well, okay, they might have been the catalyst, but you, it's your car that you're driving.
Right. Yeah. My mom wouldn't divorce this horrific monster that she was married to, knowing what he was doing, to me. And, you know, I just didn't want to be that mom for my kids. And I felt like when I was noticing the different kind of abuse that my husband was giving me, I knew that it was something I had to walk away from because it was going to kill me.
Yeah.
And because mental abuse silently in the back where the children don't hear it and the friends don't hear it and you're too embarrassed to tell anybody doesn't mean it didn't happen.
Right. You carry that shame within you.
And I remember sitting in a corner in the dark by myself late at night, crying my eyes out and hearing him, because it was so cruel to me. It's just saying, you know, you really should take those bottle of pills you have stashed away, because I always had a stashed away bottle of Escape. I did. Not anymore, but I did. And he would bring it to me and say, I think you should do it.
Wow.
And when
Very
I left him, and when I left him, you know, my kids didn't understand. And they just thought, you know, mom must have done something wrong. Right. Well, yes, I did. I chose the wrong person for myself and for my children's life because I was unhealed.
Yeah.
What do you think, or how do you think attraction changes after healing?
Well, you're a completely different human being. So what you actually pay attention to the red flags.
Yeah. You actually see them.
You see them. You don't ignore them. You take notice of them and they scream at you and you're like, oh, hell no. I'm not doing that anymore. And you feel a sense of, you create a sense of stability for yourself and peace for yourself. So if anyone comes and tries to rock you off your balance, you're like, hell no. So I think that this is the analogy that I give, is that, you know, the more that we heal, we're all trees. We're all trees. And the more we heal, the further down our roots grow. Yeah. So the more stable and secure that we are, you know, that rootedness, that sense of groundedness, that sense of so many storms can come around me, but my roots are so deep and so wide that nothing can fucking knock me down.
Yeah.
You might tilt me, you might sway me, but I'm always coming back because I am my own sense of rootedness, stability. You know, the trunk of the tree is the protection of all the internal workings of the tree. And then and then our branches are our expansion and our creativity and how we're growing and evolving and transforming. So
Right.
you feel that sense of, don't fuck with me.
Yeah. It's funny that you pick a tree. I really relate to trees a lot. I see them, I paint them, I do all kinds of stuff. Trees are my thing, but also when you were talking about it and all the different elements, I also saw the tree growing towards the light and becoming more ethereal, more powerful, more knowledgeable. The older it gets, the better it gets. And that's what I feel like as a woman. As I get older, the smarter and stronger and more resilient and special and magical I become. And I love that.
Yeah. And if you recognize that we each go through seasons, right? And we have fertilizer. We need fertilizer to grow. But the rain and the light and we need to shed. And in the fall, we need to shed the things that no longer serve. And sometimes we need to hibernate and isolate because something within us is shifting and changing so that in the spring we can blossom and bloom and be full in the summer.
Yeah, I love that so much. I felt like my biggest shift really happened when I stopped confusing intensity with love. And I started to recognize safety as attraction.
And you mean intensity, like passionate kind of up and downs?
Yeah, because
a roller coaster ride.
A lot of unhealed men who are manipulative are love bombers.
Yes.
And that intensity was like, oh, that's got to be love. He's got to love
they're
me.
paying me so much attention. It feels great.
Right.
Until it doesn't.
Yeah. Real fast though, too. I tell people all the time, wait 6 months to a year.
Yeah.
People who are crazy can't hold that crazy back for longer than that.
Yeah.
Well,
very true.
This episode really is for anybody who ever wondered, why do I keep choosing the same kind of partner? And
because you're not doing your inner work, babe.
Exactly. Inner work, I tell people all the time, breath work is very important. Shadow work is even more important. Self-work is meaning self-work. Feel good about yourself. I exercise now. I, take care of my skin and my hair, and I just really take care of myself. But it's also, I've learned how to set boundaries that I've never, ever known how to do.
Yeah.
And those boundaries make it more exciting because the people who step up to respect your boundaries are the ones that really should be there. And
correct.
I've learned that really just draws that better relationship in. And I love that so much.
Well, that's the whole thing when you're unhealed, when you're carrying around all of this trauma, patterning and programming. It's like you're just grasping for attention and acknowledgement and validation and all of these I want somebody to think that I'm pretty or whatever, sexy or whatever it is, strong, smart, whatever. But it's really, do you think that you're smart? Do you think that you're beautiful? Do you think that you're strong and powerful? Do you think that you have unlimited potential? I mean, what are you telling yourself? If you're not telling yourself, and I don't just mean, saying it by rote, but not doing any of that trauma stuff and letting go of all of those limiting beliefs, but it's really like coming back to that sense of at my core, I am created perfect, whole, and complete. And I'm in a continual process of growing and evolving and shifting and changing and finding the things that bring me joy and the things that light me up and the ways that I can express myself or the ways that I want to express myself to myself and out in the world.
Exactly.
And I feel like when you feel whole, when you feel whole, you have a sense of, you know what? It doesn't matter what anybody else thinks. The only person that matters is me.
That's
because everybody else is going to fall away.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm left with myself no matter where I go. And so am
Exactly.
I experiencing myself? Am I, honoring my inner child? Am I taking care of myself in the ways that I want to take care of myself? How am I treating my body? How am I honoring my emotions, whether they're, sadness or joy or grief or, celebration or whatever they are, but that you feel a sense of union and unity within yourself. Like you don't need anything else to complete you because you are already whole and complete. And I think that's the illusion of, oh, well, if I have somebody in my life, then I'll feel more whatever, X, Y, Z. But if you're constantly wanting someone else, then that means you feel lack within yourself.
Exactly. Well, I hate to say this because time fucking flies really fast. When we're having a great conversation. we're over time, but you're truly right, 100%. My thought was always that I needed someone else to give me what I needed when I realized I could give it to myself, and then when somebody else gives it to me too, it's just the icing. My favorite part.
Right.
But I just want everybody to know that you are not broken. You are patterned. And patterns can be changed.
I say you're not broken, you're becoming.
You're becoming. I love it. Well, thank you for being here again, Dawn. I truly love having you as a guest. You're such a beautiful person to share this with, and I really appreciate you for holding that space for me.
You're welcome.
So I just want to say thank you, everyone who comes and listens every week. You're amazing. I truly really love your support. We will be here again, same time, same place next week. And until then, let's just keep this shit real.
If you enjoyed this episode, please share with your friends, like and follow us on Instagram at 50 Shades of _bullshit and Facebook at 50 Shades of Bullshit. Thanks so much for listening, and we really hope to see you again next week.